that leads to how I caught my first case. I was 18 years old, right?
You caught that young.
Yeah.
Right.
And this one I beat.
Hit adulthood and
This one
smacked it
I
out of the
beat,
park.
which I think is why, it fed my ego, and I just thought I can just keep doing this shit. So that was real simple. And that one was really interesting. I went to this continuation kind of like adult college to finish to get your GED. When I tested their entry level test, the guy told me, principal told me, his name was Henry, actually told me that I tested the highest that they've seen in a long time in that entry. And I'm like, well, I came from a magnet program, magnet school, and stuff like that. So of course I was going to raves. I was eating acid every weekend. I was smoking pot. My mom wasn't around that much. She tried to do what she can, but my grandfather was sick, so she went back to Taiwan to take care of him. So I was just running amok, and I met these two white boys upstairs that were dope dealers, and that's another ironic story how I even met them, and then I just ran amok with them, So back to the case. Okay, so when I got there was an undercover narcotics officer that pretended he was a student, like literally 21 Jump Street scenario. Mm-hmm. Okay, and he looked like a hesher, like a stoner hesher dude, and I was like a little raver kid, so I would wear shirts with marijuana. That's like a McDonald's emblem. It says marijuana, or a Hershey's bar. It says hashish. Like I'm just blasting it out there. I'm a big fucking pothead, right? And so during school, he would be like, hey, like I would barely show up. You just get assigned work, and then you finish up the work and you turn it at the end of the week. So like I would show up 1 or 2 days, get the work and try to get it done. But if not, he offered to show me his, and we would just copy off of each other, right? And he asked me for a pot a couple of times. I was like, oh, no, I don't have any of this and that. And then one day, I remember, like, I was absent for 2 weeks, and now we had all this shit that we had to turn in. I go there, and he saw me for class. He's like, dude, I got all the homework you needed. I'm like, all right, cool. Give it to me. After that end of the day, that class, he came to me. He's like, dude, like, bro, I got this party I want to go to. Like, I got some bros there. Like, dude, can you give me some pot? I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm like, hey, I got a little bit of my own. I was smoking Mexican weed. I was selling Mexican weed so I can buy, like, the Chronic. Like to smoke good weed, right? So I had a little bit of this Mex weed with me, had seed stems and everything, and I took it out of my bag and gave it to him, and he took it in his hand and then like turned around and stuffed me. I didn't ask for any money, by the way. Stuffed me a little envelope with some like coins and money. It was like $4. It wasn't even that much fucking money. It was crazy, but he made it a point to give it to me, right?
Not a dime bag, huh?
It was a setup.
Oh yeah, straight weird. I know you think I would know, but what's crazy was one of the kids I went to school with there. It was my really good homegirl's boyfriend at the time. And me and him go to raves, eat acid together. But like he straight told me, he goes, dude, that guy's a cop. Like out of nowhere, he said, yeah, that guy's a cop. I'm like, well, because you can tell. He goes, don't talk to him. I'm like, okay. But that day I felt obligated and this and that because of the homework situation. So at the end of the school semester, one day they get a knock on the door at the house I was staying at with this girl, and it's the detectives. And mind you, I'm a kid, like I'm in high school, right? So they come, a couple of detectives, 3 or 4 detectives. They come and I think we just got back from a rave. We're eat on ecstasy all night, like we're barely going to sleep, and the cops knock, right? And then I open up, and they ask me who I am, this and that, and then I automatically knew, bam, I know what happened, okay? And they walk me in the house, and they don't have a search warrant. They just have a warrant for me, obviously. So they're like looking around, and then I had this big snake tank. And there was 2. There was one of my own snake and a big one with a ball python in it. No, red-tailed boa. It's my friends. And they're like, what were in those tanks? I'm like, oh, mine over there, my snake got away. Because I had a triple beam that I stole from a high school. I had like some pot in the closet. And they were kind of just looking already, right? And right when I said that, oh, the snake that got out, they're like, oh, he grabbed my shoes, walked me out of the room, and closed the door, right? So they take me to jail, and I'm in the holding cell. I'm in Van Nuys, and I'm just like trying to figure shit out, and then you hear all these other guys in there, and there was a group of us. So I guess at the end of the year, they round up all the guys that they had a case on, because they don't blow their cover. They wait till the end of the year.
The who's who.
Yeah, right. And I'm in there with a bunch of essays and stuff, and like I'm talking to them like, hey, what were you here? What this and that? And I heard the craziest stories, right? And like at that time, like I was, in between stuff, and just trying to figure things out. Didn't have a good male role model around, and just headed down a wrong path that the people I hang around with. And I was like, maybe I'll join the military, And
no siblings though. You said
no
single
siblings,
Okay,
single
so-
parent,
Wait,
just my mom and me.
But you got busted for the $4 that he gave you?
Yeah, so he gave me the money, and And I got to charge felony sales. And they're like, oh, yeah, you're going to plead out. I'm like, no, I'm going to join the military. I don't want to plead out. And I had a public defender. I'll never forget. James Duffy. I'll never forget this guy. Saves my ass. And I kind of explained to him the situation. He goes, that sounds like entrapment. And I'm like, yeah, whatever that word is, I guess, you know.
Public defender safety.
Yes, dude. Okay. And he goes, do you have anybody that can like prove that like you actually knew this kid before the interaction? Because on the paperwork, it says that you just approached them and sold them some pot. Right. And I'm like, yeah, I have the teacher asked if we were cheating off of each other. I sat next to the guy. I had another, my friend even said too, like they definitely have people that say that we knew each other prior to that deal. Right. Okay, so he actually interviewed a couple of those people, and then we decided because he said there was 1 year, you plead out felony sales, you get 1 year probation, and that's it, you get no jail time. But if you fight this, there's going to be an issue. Right. So, meanwhile, so go back to when I was in the holding cell. I'm talking to these essays, and the guys that I busted, they're talking about they sold them crack, they sold them heroin. They said he showed up at their house at 4 a.m. knocking on windows like a crackhead would. Okay, like fully played the part, this cop, right? And I'm like, okay, I gave him like one transaction of like 3.5 grams worth of dirt weed, dude. Like, there's no way. Like, what do you mean? I don't want to get grouped in with the rest of these guys, right? I'm like, these guys are selling them heroin and crack and all this stuff. You know, multiple transactions, they've told me, you know, these other guys.
You had one.
Yeah. So we go, finally, fast forward, we go to first day of, I'm saying I'm going to fight, we're going to take a trial. So first day of trial, we show up. James comes up and shakes my hand. Congratulations. I'm like, what happened? He goes, case dismissed. I'm like, okay. He goes, they don't have the evidence. I'm like, okay. And he's like, yeah. He goes, they can't produce the evidence of their case.
They don't have the $4.
They don't have the 3.5 grams worth of dirt weed. They don't have the weed. They don't know where it is. They don't have it. So they threw that case away. And then, you know, of course, case dismissed, and Duffy like had me, like he said, hey, look at the DA, like thank him, and I like thanked them. So I don't know if they worked something out. They probably told him, hey, maybe he's a good kid, wrong crowd, blah blah blah. Who knows, right?
Yeah, the highest test.
You beat the case.
Test score.
Yeah, so I ended up beating that case, and pretty much, I think, finish up with that school. They had such success at that school. The second year, they sent in a girl. And I heard she was sleeping with some of the drug dealers, hooking up with them, partying, smoking, all that stuff. And she reined in a bunch of people too. So these continuation like dropout schools are great places to hunt for drug dealers.
One big trap.
Literally. It's yeah.